good, YouTube? It's your boy 4. I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I record my videos. So I'm going to be showing you guys from the YouTube aspect and then the Instagram and TikTok aspect. Let's get it. So as you can see, I have 4 lights, 1 box light, 3 ring lights, 2 mini ones, 1 big one. Ring lights are important for lighting, but the best lighting is going to be overhead lighting, 100%, but you don't want to produce too much shadows. Having too many ring lights is also bad. You want to have the perfect amount. 4 lights work for me. How ironic. But some clients, like I'll get like a light skin client or a white client, and this is just too much light. Or even a black client. Sometimes, depending on a person's skin and how their skin reacts to light, it's not gonna work. Sometimes I have to turn one off for the video. Sometimes I have to even add more light. I have extra lights in my storage unit. But yeah, ring lights are a must. So next up, we have tripods. This one's for my camera, but as you guys know, I don't really like using my camera. These 2 are for my phones. This one has like a flexible, movable arm piece, and this one also has a swappable arm piece. I'm gonna show you guys that right now. So I'll usually only use these 2 tripods, and I'll pick which one I think would be better for the cut. And of course, I'll always have my backdrop, so I'm gonna show you guys how I actually set it up. I usually pull my backdrop up to right here and then adjust this arm piece in position for my client, depending on how tall the client is, how big his head is, how wide it is, all that. Pause. So for those of you who are new, I actually had to makeshift this. I bought this piece off of B&H photo and video website. I'll link it down in the description. Good backdrop, very wide. The previous one, it was just too small. I recommend having a backdrop personally, just because I think it makes a very clean background. It makes it look very clean and concise. I like it personally. To each his own though. I know people who are in shops who just use the natural background, and I used to do that too. Sometimes, depending on a shop's aesthetic, in my opinion, you should get a backdrop. Like depending, if it's like all over the place, a bunch of different McDonald's colors and all that, I'd get a backdrop. But if it's a clean, nice gray shop, even like this, you don't really need one for videos. This is gonna be our prop phone for today. This is my second phone that I do like business calls and stuff on. So we're gonna place it inside. So I'll adjust the height a little bit to be eye level with me. And if a client was in the chair just like this, he'd be level and there would be no background showing. I don't know if you guys can see. So this is exactly how I'll be recording my tutorials. Say I have a clipper and I'm cutting. I'm usually just like this. Now, I don't recommend moving the camera in different angles. You want to really have a solid angle where you're staying at and where you're constantly standing. For tutorials, the barber or the stylist is going to have to move around, maybe to do some detail work on this side and just for some action shots like thumbnail shots. But you don't want to be moving the tripod around too much. It's going to throw the video off. People are going to be confused and people want to see it from a consistent angle. At the end, you can do different angles, but I recommend just staying with one consistent angle and then just cutting a clip. You want to make sure that your barber chair is correct, because the barber chair, like right now, if I swung it all around, the client's feet would hit this tripod. So I know not to swing it around. I would just move this way. You got to finesse. You got to work with what you got. You know, this is a very awkward thing to do. I'd say if you don't have balls, you can't do this. Like, I'm gonna just be real. YouTube barbers have balls. You got to have balls, because it's nerve-wracking pulling out your camera like this in front of a new client and just recording them. It's nerve-wracking, and then you got to hit different angles. You start sweating when they huffing and puffing because you're taking too long. It takes balls. So I definitely salute anyone who does it. Now let's talk about iPhones versus cameras. Now the reason I stopped using my camera completely, I'm gonna show some clips of my old haircuts. I used to record it with a camera, obviously. Now most barbers do use cameras. Most YouTube barbers do use cameras, and it works for them. But for me, it just wasn't my thing. One, the focus. That's an issue with me. When you're cutting, do you really want to be checking to see if your camera's in focus or not? Even with autofocus on, it still can be completely out of focus, and I hated that. I remember I used to record bangers. I'm talking about bangers, and I couldn't post it because the entire haircut was out of focus. That's very frustrating as a content creator. That will make you like want to quit or something. So then I started using my iPhone. I'm like, this is what I started out using, my iPhone in the beginning. I actually was using an iPad when I first started, and that's crazy. iPhone, stay in focus. Yes, they may veer out of focus if your hand is in it, but immediately when it captures onto the subject, these phones are so high tech now, they're actually literally better than cameras in my opinion. Secondly, it's more convenient to just record with your phone. It's a hassle pulling out a camera, recording it, setting it up, tilting it, zooming it out, zooming the lens, switching the lens. Man, I ain't got time for all that. I'm trying to cut hair and record. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of YouTube barbers just want to record with cameras. And I get it, it's an ego thing. You don't want to pull out your phone and record. You look like an amateur, but in my opinion, that makes you a professional. Now let's get into the format of your videos. You know, if you want to do Instagram mainly and TikTok versus YouTube. So vertical and horizontal, let's talk about it. So this is how your format should be. If you're recording a YouTube video, it should be horizontal. Now, if you want to convert this into a Reels later on, you can do that, but it will be zoomed in. This is pretty obvious information. I wouldn't even recommend using the front camera, meaning like faced in a selfie way, just because you're going to confuse yourself. And the haircut could look off in that camera because it flips it. Now, there is an option on iPhones. I actually have this option where you can kind of reverse the front mirror. So it won't look like a mirror. It'll literally reflect what you're looking into, if that makes sense. And also the front quality camera isn't as good as the back, obviously. Now for Instagram and TikTok, you're going to want to tilt your phone like this. This should be your format for Instagram and TikTok videos. So this is how I record my Instagram or TikTok videos. Sometimes I'll even put it in my hand and just record like that. That way I can get better action shots. I'm gonna show some of my Instagram clips. They have been getting a lot of attention based on the actions that I'm using. Shout out to my mentorship program, New Era of Barbering. Definitely been helping me with that because I suck at that. That's not my thing. I'm more of a YouTube guy. So whenever I'm recording an Instagram or TikTok reel of some sorts, I'm usually like this. I have it much closer than a YouTube video. One, because Instagram and TikTok, they kind of take the quality down just a tad. When you're recording horizontally, you kind of have a bit more quality in my opinion. So when you record vertically like this, you want to be zoomed in a little bit, just so the camera can capture more detail of the hair and stuff. And plus you're working with different space. So when you're zoomed out, horizontal recording captures more width. Vertical recording captures more height, and that's pretty obvious information, just in case if you guys are beginners. And for those wondering, I am using my actual iPhone to record. This is my backup iPhone. The settings that I would recommend recording on is 4K with 60 frames per second. Now for Instagram videos, you can do HD and 30 frames per second because it's a bit different. But me, I like doing 4K everything. Now this is gonna take up a lot of space. So if you're recording these videos, make sure you're editing them and getting them out, because you can't just let it sit on your phone or else it'll stack up and you use all your iPhone storage. I have a lot of iPhone storage, but still, I even found myself last week. I had so many videos stacked up that I didn't like put on my Google Drive that I had to like rush and edit some of them and send them to my editor. Now, whether it's for YouTube or for Instagram, any type of recording that I do, when it's time to showcase, I usually hold a light in my hand. So I'll grab this and kind of point it down just so it can kind of reflect off of their jawline and their face to make them look better than what they already do. You know what I'm saying? Switching to vertical recording was definitely a challenge, and it definitely wasn't easy, but once you learn it, it's like a piece of cake. I say horizontal recording is a bit more complicated in regards to showcasing and stuff, but this is an example of what I do for showcasing. I'm gonna show some angles of haircuts and how I do it and how it makes a difference. So I'll just point the light, depending on what angle of the haircut. You wanna get the best angle of the haircut at the end. You wanna show all sides, but you really wanna showcase the person's face, the person's eyes. You wanna make them look attractive. It's a fact. I think we as an industry, we need to make content that attract clients, not other barbers. No one cares how fast you did the fade or how blurry it is. I mean, yeah, we all do. You want to get clients in your chair. You want random people to see it on YouTube and Instagram. So definitely follow these steps if you want banger videos. And finally, let's talk about capes. Capes are important. Capes dictate how well the haircut looks in the thumbnail. I like to use white capes or a very colorful cape. I like using the white cape because it doesn't matter what skin color the person is, it's always gonna reflect off their skin well. Now, if you use like a black cape, a boring behind cape, can the cut stand out? Yeah, but you're gonna have to do a bit more to make it stand out. I like using colorful capes. I've always been this way, even when I was at the shop. Green capes, bright red capes, bright yellow capes, bright blue capes. I think it just makes the haircut look better, and just take my advice, trust me. It'll make your cuts pop, it'll make them look better, especially if it's like a blurry fade with some nice contrast. Throw a colorful cape on your client, and I'm telling you, that thing gonna look crazy. But yeah, guys, that's basically it. That's how I record my YouTube and Instagram videos. These tools are very simple, very easy to use, easy to set up. The ring lights, you just snap a few pieces together and you're good. I'll link everything down in the description into my Amazon storefront. If you guys are interested in any of these products, just go down to my Amazon storefront. I hope this answered everyone's questions. I really get it mainly on Instagram. How do you record and stuff? I just showed y'all the sauce. So make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. It's your boy 4. I'm out. Peace.